All right, YouTube. Today, we got Royalty Auto Service here. Okay. Pretty much, we got these guys here that are basically explaining the numbers to a brake job they did. Right. I did watch this video a little bit, but I did not watch the whole thing. I watch these guys a lot. Okay, I really like Royalty Auto Service. And these guys are really good. I ain't gonna lie. I really like these guys. Now they basically had a brake job in, right? Not a normal brake job. Okay, they had a brake job in for, I believe, a Dodge. I want to say it was an SRT Charger or whatever it was. But it was one of those Brembo brake packages, right? And if you guys know anything about that, the automotive world, those are very expensive brakes. And basically, he's gonna break it down today. And you might be asking, well, Kyle, why are you reacting to this? What kind of experience do you have? Well, I am a store manager of a corporate shop. I cannot name the shop, obviously, for very important reasons. That is a no-no for me. But however, I am obviously a store manager, and I do control all the same stuff that he probably controls. The only thing is he works for himself. So without further ado, let's get into it.
We have been called a ripoff by a lot of people. Are we? Let's get into it.
Called a ripoff. That's never a good thing.
This is going to be a video that you, I would say, have probably never seen online before. You've never seen a video, I would think, like this from an automotive repair shop. What we're going to do today, let me give you the backstory. I always got to do the backstory first.
Getting excited.
So, yeah. So, we did a video recently on the most expensive brake job that we've ever done. We did it on the Scatpack. I think it was a 21 Scat. Is that
There
right?
it is.
21 Scatpack, I think it was. And I did misquote the price. I'm going to fix that here in just a minute. But we did a video and we told the price. We didn't really get into the pricing part of it. The video was about, what we were doing the brake job and how we were doing it and all this kind of stuff. But
Right.
because we gave the price, which we don't normally do, and this is exactly why, because people want to come out of the woodwork, and they did, a lot of them, you're a complete ripoff.
Wait. What did this first guy say?
Come out of the woodwork, and they did.
What a ripoff. What a ripoff. I replaced the pads on mine for $78. Okay. First of all, there's no way you replace the brake pads on your Brembos for $78 unless you went to Rock Auto or some very cheap whatever. Second of all, even if you did somehow get some pads for $78, you're pad slapping a Brembo brake job on a Charger? On a Scatpack? Oh, no. So you did the job incorrectly is what you're saying.
A lot of them, you're a complete ripoff. I can't believe you marked it up. That's an insane markup. I can do it for
Ripoff. There's no such thing as aftermarket Brembo. LOL. AK is insane. 5K plus labor to slap pads and rotors.
I think one guy said he could do it for $685 or something in one of the comments.
I got a shade free mechanic. He would have did it for $200. No way.
Some lunatic fringe trying to.
Multiple people said $4,500.
A lot of people
at
said
the dealership.
At the dealership, $4,500. Now, so let me address those. So I'm not even going to talk about the $685 one because
I work for Mopar. Priced out OEM rotors for $250 a rotor. Brake pads I think were $140ish. Brake fluid is like $50. And yes, he has the fancy tools and the lift, etc. If you can and smart enough to do them yourself on a weekend.
no. Okay, just no. Right. I want to make sure we're clear. It was all four corners. It was front brakes and rear brakes all the way around.
Hey, geez, no way I'm at a Dodge dealer. It's only $4,500. That's not right. I can call the dealership and I called the dealership and I had a Hellcat. They told me the rotors were $1,100 a piece. Yeah.
Brake flush, the whole deal, the proper way to do it. All right, that out of the way, let's talk about why somebody might say it's $4,500 at the dealership. we don't put the VIN number in these videos. We're not going to put somebody's VIN number in the video. The VIN number can play a huge part in what parts are actually needed on the vehicle. So for the people who said $4,500, one of them said my car, they did it at the dealership for $4,500. I can do it in the driveway for a total cost $2,000, right?
That's impossible.
Here's the deal.
Not with what we use. It's impossible.
We're going to show you the parts cost in just a minute, right? We're going to show you the parts cost in a minute. We're going to show you the parts cost that cost us, and then we're going to show you what the dealership would sell them for, what the retail price, and I'm going to talk about that also, what they call the list price, okay? But I'm going to talk about that too, because there's some caveats to that. But we need to understand that when you say, oh, $2,000 for parts, or $4,500 for the total job of the dealership, but you don't know what car it is, you're saying that they can do it for that price. You're saying they can do it for that price on your car. But I will assure you they can't do it for that price on that car that we did. You have the lower end brake system. I'm sorry to say that you didn't buy the super high end brake system on your car. It's okay, right? You went on the lot, and you bought the vehicle. The client we have bought the super high end. He's got the package on this thing that was way more expensive.
We didn't even give an engine size on some of the videos.
I mean, it's crazy
that's true.
You know, why you think we would rip somebody off?
Can't know.
Hopefully you know that.
Know a vehicle.
We're not out here trying to rip anybody off. That's not what we're here to do.
I feel like we're pretty transparent.
Right?
This is going to be about as transparent as you can get.
This is going to be as transparent as anybody has ever been
online.
And I don't care. It's fine. I mean, I'm not going to bring you into my books and let you see my P&L. I mean, that's really. But I'm letting you see the P&L on this one. You will see the P&L on this job. Let's start with the breakdown of the total price.
Here we go.
I made a mistake. My fault. So some of this was caused by me. Now, the guy for $685, no. Doing it for $2,000, no. $4,500, no. But some people were like, man, that seems like awful high. That was my fault. I misquoted. We were doing guys, we do these videos. This is about the most planned out video that we've done, only because I had to put a bunch of numbers together for you. And I spent 15 minutes putting numbers together. Most of the time, it's like we're just out here, we're doing it when I show this stuff. We want to bring you in and show you what we do. So I heard, I don't know who even said in the shop, it's like, oh, I said $8,000 brake job. I just went with it. I apologize for that. The actual total price, love my big whiteboard. I told Sherwood, because we're going to be doing training over in the training center over here, which is getting built. He's like, well, do you want a big one? I said, I want the biggest whiteboard you can possibly get. Hey, Dan, this is a big whiteboard, just so you know. Anyway.
I ain't gonna lie, I mess with that whiteboard.
He gets it. But he got me, I said, I want the biggest whiteboard you can get.
Get one of those for my shop.
That's about as big as I think they come. I had to rethink the way I was doing it. My head was going to be, and my body was going to be in the way of over here. So here we are. I said 8. It's actually 73, 74, 34. That's the total price.
Now, 73, 74, that's going to be the after-tax price that came out of the guy's card. You guys got to realize there's sales tax, right?
Total price out the door that the client actually paid us. Right off the bat.
One thing that nobody thinks about.
Nobody thinks about this things at all.
Yeah, see?
Sales tax.
In New York,
I don't get to keep that. Right? So sales tax has to come out of it. So now we're down to okay. Right? There we go.
All right, so basically $69.50 for a brake job. Front and rear, pads, rotors, brake flush, all that good stuff. For a Brembo set, it's really not that bad, to be honest. Let's continue to see what he's got to say. But I priced one of these out at my shop. I almost said the name. And I ain't gonna lie, bro. I think it would have been right around the same, if not more. Be honest with you.
69, 58, 63 is what I should have said on the video. So I was $1,000 off. Well, yeah, $1,000 off. All right. Now let's get to the part that everybody really wants to see. What was our cost of the parts?
This is crazy. There's no way I would ever do this.
Our cost.
This guy's
This is
being
what we
very, very
paid
nice right now, being
for the
very
parts
transparent,
for this vehicle
trying to clear his
from
name.
Chrysler. Yes, we had, I think, a quart of brake fluid in this thing too, but this is Chrysler parts, Chrysler box from the dealership. Our cost.
And people you're gonna wonder, well, why didn't you get cheaper?
Why would you?
You could get this or that, and we don't want to cheap out on something like this.
Look at the car.
Yeah.
The guy didn't go buy a cheap car. He don't want it done cheap, right? If somebody wants a car, wants repairs done cheap, we will refer them to places that will do that 100%. We have no problem with that. If you want cheap repairs, you can find shops that will do that for you. I don't have a problem with that whatsoever. I mean, I can understand that.
Scatpack school.
Just not us. We're going to do a high quality repair with the proper parts. That's how we do it.
And we don't use OE parts on every brake job
No,
that we do.
no.
But in this case, that was the best option
Yeah.
that was out there.
Yes,
It definitely
absolutely.
is, no doubt.
So there we go. 38.72, 64 is our cost on the parts. All right.
And you made $3,100.
Go look it up. Everybody's gonna be like, there's no way you paid that for the part. Yeah, that's what, I'm not lying to you. That's what we paid for those. We paid for those parts, not list, not, oh, you're putting list. No, let me make sure I cut off all the comments, okay? That is what came out of my checking account to pay for the parts. All right, let's go ahead and do the labor. Labor cost.
Another thing that people don't think about.
Yep, got to pay the tax.
They just think
This is just the tech cost. This is direct cost of the tech doing the job. Not, we're going to get to other labor costs later, but $385. That's what it costs for the tech to do the job.
And you can do some math.
So before he gets to what his breakdown is or whatever, so obviously because I understand this very well, $6,958 was the pre-tax total for the customer. $3,872 is what it costed Mr. Sherwood to go get the pads and rotors all the way around, right? And probably a little bit of brake fluid in there. He probably is putting in there too, but whatever. $3,872. So that leaves him about what, 31 and some change, about 3,000. It looks like about $3,000 left and some change, maybe. For profit, and then obviously he's got to pay the technician. Okay, so labor costs was $385. So the technician got $385 to work on that vehicle. So my guess is he probably wrote this up 4 hours of labor all the way around, probably maybe a little more. No, give or take, probably. I don't know. Really depends. Guy probably makes, I don't know, $385 for a brake job all the way around. That's good money, man. Shit. I ain't gonna lie, $385 to pay the tech dad. I mean, you gotta figure that was probably, let's just say he makes 40 an hour, 40, 80, 120, 160. I mean, shit, I don't know where you get 380 from, bro. I don't know if you're paying your tech $90 an hour, because 90, 80, 270, 360 is still 90 an hour. So how many hours did you pay your technician to do this? I don't know. No, I don't know about that one. I don't know why his labor was so high on that one. But nonetheless, I don't know, because they might have a different structure. I don't know how they pay their technicians. That seems extremely high to pay your labor, to pay your technician for a brake job. $385. I'm just trying to think. I mean, if your technician makes even 50 an hour, let's just say, right? And if they're paying 50 an hour there, sign me up. I want to go work there. $50 an hour, and let's just say that brake job called for 4 hours, 2 for the front, 2 for the rear. I mean, that's 50, 100, 150, $200. Where's the extra 185 coming from? I mean, even if you pay him an extra hour for a brake flush, I mean, that's still, I don't know, 50, that's still only 250. And that's if he makes 50 an hour. So I just don't know. I don't know where he's coming up with that, unless they're paying like 2.5 hours per axle on those brakes, and then plus a brake flush. That means he's just taking care of his technician at that point. I don't know. I don't know how he's making $385 off of one brake job, that technician. But damn, I'd be rich if I could do that all day. Hey, give me brake job after brake job, $385 every time. Damn.
Everybody's like, oh my gosh, tech only made that. You guys made,
Well, yeah, that's how it works. I mean, the technician. I mean, you work for me. You're obviously. I'm doing all the risk here. It's my business. We got to make money to pay you, pay him, pay the service advisors, pay this guy, pay the shop guys. So of course, but it looks like to
We're
me.
not yet.
Looks like to me 60. So basically 3,000 minus 385. So it looks like they roughly made about $2,600 off the job. Um, that's what it's probably looking like for me. Um, let's keep going because I didn't get this far when I watched it.
Not even close to done.
I would think they can see that actually the tech's making good money
Not
at
even
that
close to
rate
done.
for a four-wheel brake job and a brake flush.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gross
Right.
profit.
I see
So
what he's
now
getting
here
at.
are, we take all those and we say, what is your gross profit on that job? And this is where everybody's going to be, everybody's about to start typing. Oh my gosh. You guys made a killing on that job. You made $2,701 on that job. That poor tech only made $385. Holy moly, that's incredible. Yeah, I know. I don't know why I don't have a yacht, and I don't know. I mean, it's just crazy. I should have.
No, that's about right, guys. That is a proper breakdown for what a shop would make off of like a job, and then the technician. I mean, you got to figure the shop has all these costs. It's not like Mr. Sherwood there got $2,700. The shop did, but you got to remember the shop's got to pay out bills. It's got to pay out other employees, insurance matters, and shrink and all that good stuff. Inventory. I mean, it's really not that much in the grand scheme of things, but it's definitely a healthy profit. I mean, $2,700 off of one job, that's definitely nice. That helps your day out for sure.
I
Why
should
are you
have.
still living in that two-bedroom house?
Yeah, I should have. I should have a beachfront home and a. I mean, I should have I should have beachfront home all across the eastern seaboard. Go ahead, let's go to California too. All right. That's on one job. My gosh, we're doing this all day long. Yeah. Here's the kicker.
This is how business works.
Fixed costs. Fixed cost is the mortgage, the lease, so the mortgage on the building, the lease on the building, your insurance, your other labor costs, right? Our costs on our service advisors, our costs for our client care people, car wash people. Yes, I have those, and we're going to talk. And people are like, well, you don't have to have all those. You could have done it cheaper. Hold on, I'm going to show you something at the bottom here that's going to.
Well, you can't count mortgage and all of that stuff into that profit. You can't do that. Because that's not good math. See, now I don't agree with that. The service advisor, yes, I did forget about that. So let's just say the service advisor gets about a 5% profit from the ticket. Let's just say the service advisor, out of a $6,900 sale pre-tax, made, I don't know, what do you want to say, $300. I mean, so I would say like $2,400 is now profit. I don't know where he's going with this bills thing. Well, let's see.
Yeah, we could definitely not have those and maybe do a cheaper job, but we give a certain level of service. That's what we do, right? This is fixed costs is also, our leases of our equipment leases, software, information source, information databases, you name it, electricity, water, your property taxes, your
Go on and
inventory
on.
taxes, you name it, anything you can think that has to happen. And a lot of people don't even realize what all is involved in that. There is a lot of stuff. Uniforms, okay?
All right, I understand all of that. And look, that all matters for sure. But you can't listen, now I think Mr. Sherwood, you are over explaining yourself now. You don't have to explain yourself this far, my man. You already went to the extent to explain yourself from 73 all the way down to 27 and then minus your service advisor cost, right? I think you missed a step. You go down to service advisor, you had to pay him another $300 off that ticket. The store profited 24. That's what it is. That's where you leave it at. You don't gotta explain all the extra stuff, man. The bills and all that don't come out of one ticket. So I don't know why you're going to the extent to over explain and talk about rent and Cintas. The Cintas are the uniform people. And all this other stuff. You don't gotta explain all that. That just comes out of the end of your month. That's just a monthly P&L. That's the expenses that it costs to run a shop. Whether you took that car in and worked on that car or not, you had to pay all of that stuff anyway. That was a $2,400 profit, my man. You don't gotta want to over explain yourself. Now you're over explaining. You don't need to.
I mean, rags, you name it. It's just a lot of stuff in there. All right, how much of that is? Well, that is generally across the entire automotive world, and this is what's good for shops to kind of know, where should that be? Somewhere between 30 and 35% of that number. Somewhere between 30 and 35% of that number. All right? Ours for this one, we're going to be at, you see I'm giving it to the penny here, guys. There we are. That's our fixed cost on this job. That's what our fixed cost is.
No, man. Look, Sherwood, you're going way too far now. You're way over explaining yourself now, my man. It did not cost you $2,000 extra to fix that car. That car did not cost you anything outside of the parts up there. You see, guys, right here, these two lines, part cost and labor cost, is what it costed Mr. Sherwood here to work on that car. I don't know what this is. This is bills and insurance and all that other stuff. Do not listen to that. It did not cost $2,100 for Sherwood to fix that car. You're going too far now, man. And I get it. You're trying to explain yourself. You're trying to make it look like, oh, I only made $100 off this car. No, you didn't. You made $2,400 off this car, $2,500 off that car, depending on what you paid your service advisor. And that's what you made, brother. And there's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with how much money you made on that car. But don't try to hide it now. Fixed costs? You can't do that. You're telling me it cost you an extra $2,000 to work on every single car that comes in the building? Nah, man. Delete this. Get rid of that right there. That doesn't make any sense. Nah, man.
Obviously, you can see that's a big amount. That is so much. Yeah, if I didn't have all of that, if I just had me and Sherwood and the tech, and we're just working out of our garage at the house, yeah, you can do things super, super cheap. You go to somebody that's working out of a, they have tons of these in Jacksonville. They work out of the storage facilities, right? They rent a storage unit, and then you just pull your car up in there and they work out of that. They don't, if they do have insurance, that would be a miracle. They don't have anything else. The storage unit is paying for the electricity, the storage unit. Do they have water? There is so much expense when you're actually running a real business, okay? Insurance would just
And that's
blow
not
your mind.
that's not to downplay those people that are trying to grind it out, that are just doing that. Hey, not hating at all. We're just trying to show
There's a
that
difference.
There's a difference
in the costs of doing of being in business.
Yeah, and there are certain things that we can offer that they can't.
Yeah,
right. And that's
absolutely.
That's just reality. It's the value that we try to put into it. We try to make our work valuable to the client, and it's not always the cheapest, but is there value in what we do?
That's the thing is, well, we could get into
Yeah, sorry, I'm taking you on a rabbit trail.
There's our fix.
Look, I understand all that, and there's value in it. And like I said, I run a shop. I run a corporation, like a corporate shop. And that's, guys, all I know is that when I got a car, if I had a $6,900 sale come to the door and those were my margins, I'd be happy. I'd be like, yes, I just made $2,400 off that car, on to the next car, right? Because that's the goal in this industry. You do a car, you get to the next one. It did not do not listen to that. It did not, there is no $2,087.59 cost. No, there is not. Believe me, they threw a pizza party. I will go as far as to say they threw a pizza party after that car came to the door and fixed that car and got that money as soon as the client cashed out. They were like, yes. Believe me, that 2087.59 does not exist for one specific car. That is not true. Okay, you got to get rid of that. I don't know what you're talking about there, but you can't look at how much bills are in my shop and put that on one car, right? You would have had that 2087 or whatever you're thinking about with or without that Dodge Charger walking through the door.
It's reality. You can.
And look, he's not wrong for making a $2,400 profit. Look, I like.